Pordier the War is a very fun game. The game offers a lot and it is great to know all the basics before playing so that you don't have to ask somebody or Google anything. Therefore, I have made this basic guide. Note that some information might be outdated or a bit off. For a bit of context or history, Pordier the War is a sequel to Trenches. Both games are the same genre, however Pordier the War is a lot better in my opinion. The game is currently in open testing and it is already amazing. There are 5 classes, being Rifleman, Grenadier, Engineer, Shotgunner, and Assault Engine. Rifleman is just basic, where you get a rifle and a shovel. There are currently 2 different rifles. The Oscovian one having 8 bullets, being reloaded with 2 clips. The Restoran rifle has 6 bullets, but it is only reloaded by 1 clip, thus it has a faster reload. Grenadiers are just riflemen with 6 grenades. Engineers get a pistol and a shovel, however they are able to build things such as dugouts, pillboxes, and the most important thing, artillery. These can't be built by any other class. They also construct and repair faster than the other classes. Shotgunner gets a shotgun and a shovel. Lastly, there is the assault engine, which cannot be used at the start of the match, with it being available later on. Every class costs a certain amount of ammunition, which is the game's version of money or tickets, with Rifleman costing 0, Grenadier costing 50, Engineer costs 100, Shotgunner being 150, and the most expensive one is the Assault Engine, with it being 2000, with the price increasing by 500 with every assault engine on the battlefield. Now onto some basic controls. All controls can be changed in the settings in the menu. If you want to use your bayonet, then you press F, to select you press T, and next are the shovel controls. You can switch between modes by pressing F or R. The first action is work, where you can help construct trenches and other things and repair said things. Take note that only engineers can construct dugouts, pillboxes, and artillery, and are the only ones able to repair pillboxes and artillery. Next is place. To change what you place, you can press E or Q. You are able to place barbed wire and trenches. If you're an engineer, you can place a dugout, pillbox, and artillery. The third mode is conversion. To change what you're converting the trench into, you press E or Q. This allows you to modify a trench into a trench that is more resilient to artillery damage. But you can't really climb out of it or use it effectively to defend. The other option is where you place a bridge over a trench. The last option is destroy. This is used mainly to cut down trees so that you can place artillery or trenches, but can also be used offensively to destroy barbed wire. Now here are some tips on how to build effective trenches. Firstly, always make them zigzag. This makes it easier to defend when the enemy gets into your trench. If you want to build in general faster, use the engineer class. This will also allow you to build dugouts, which repair trenches in a 70-meter radius. If you know that your team will be defending for a long time, place barbed wire in front of your trenches. You are able to shoot through them, however they do obscure your vision a bit. Assault engine effective. The assault engine, if used correctly, can change the outcome of the battle, with it being only damaged by grenades and artillery. Although I have seen people say that you can damage it by shooting the engine, however I am skeptical about this. Driving it isn't very hard. You can't, however, turn while moving forward or backwards. The tanks have a light machine gun that is devastating. It can be used to destroy infantry, artillery, and lastly suppress pillboxes. However, if you shoot for too long, it will overheat and it will take a long time to be used again. Lastly, never push up without infantry support. You will get killed by enemy grenadiers. Always try and support the infantry by suppressing pillboxes and destroying artillery. How to counter assault engines? There are a few ways to counter assault engines. First is artillery, however this isn't a very reliable option because of how inconsistent artillery can be. The best option is by using grenades. It takes about 8 grenades or less to take an assault engine out. When an assault engine's engine starts to make a lot of white smoke, it means that it has low health. The basics of artillery. Artillery can only be placed, built and repaired by engineers, but can be used by any infantry class. You have to hold the Z key in order to operate it. You have a third-person view. There is also a white cylinder that is intended for you to aim with. You use W and S to aim up and down, and A and D to aim left and right. There is no clear way to know when you can shoot again, with the best way to know being to just spam or use an autoclicker. Artillery can be taken out by rifles, however most players don't try to destroy the artillery with their rifles. It is still important to try and place it where there is some cover, especially against assault engines. Pillboxes. Pillboxes are very strong against infantry, however they are very difficult to build alone and require at least 4 or more engineers to be built at an effective rate. Pillboxes can be countered effectively by artillery and can be suppressed by artillery and assault engines. Maps. There are currently only 2 maps. One is a plain forest map of a river with a bridge. This map's 2 factions are Oscovia and Restora. There are 6 flags on this map. There is also heavy barrages, which are massive artillery strikes that leave large craters. The other map is a desert map. This map is very different, with the 2 factions being Oscovia and the BLF, which is short for Bordenese Liberation Front. This map has interesting modifiers, as seen on the screen right now. Rather than there being heavy barrages, there are light barrages, which consist of large volleys of normal artillery strikes. The BLF do not get their own barrages. The BLF also have a 40% chance for their Grenadier and Rifleman class to spawn with a pistol rather than one of the 2 rifles. This map has 8 flags. I hope that this tutorial helped you in some way. Thank you for watching.